Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So you guys may or may not have seen this particular fat TikToker, her own words, right? She calls herself fat and she goes to different parts of the world and critiques certain things like venues, hotels, pools, airplanes, and she complains a lot about why people need to accommodate her needs because she is obese, she's fat, and well, the seats don't really work for her because she's too big. She's got to pay extra so that she can get two seats and so she can fit in it. Now, there is a simple solution to this. It's called discipline, exercise, eating healthy, and not being lazy. But this person has admitted on many occasions that she doesn't want to exercise. She's quite happy stuffing her face and eating herself basically to an early grave. Now, I'm not trying to be cruel here, but what I find outrageous is the fact that these people have the gumption or the gall to complain about the fact that they are obese when they have the control to deal with it themselves, especially when it comes down to laziness. Now, I know there are some fairly bigger people out there in the world that do exercise and do their very best to keep in shape and look after themselves, and they end up like health reasons, they can't end up losing weight. I totally understand that. It's a different story altogether. But when you have people like this that have a victimhood mentality that just want to cause trouble for not just businesses. Now, I personally am not a huge fan of airlines. I think they rip people off too much. And if I was like the prime minister or something like that, I would fix that immediately because the airline places or the airline companies, they're earning millions, if not billions of dollars a year over the fact that you can't, adjust your ticket, or they take so much more of your money than they end up spending themselves, which is kind of crazy considering how different times of the year they'll also jack up the prices just so they can. Like, how does that work? Don't ask me. I don't particularly get it. But another thing that I find an issue with are the ones that decide to go on airplanes and then they complain and they critique about why the airplane isn't suiting their one particular need, which is I need space. The airline hallways, they're not big enough for me to get through. I think it makes sense for people to be of a particular size in order to be on the plane. Like, you've got a weight limit, right? I think this person is well over that weight limit. And as a result, like, there should be penalties because of it. You should be made to pay more as a plus size, or you're a fat influencer on TikTok and you're demanding things you have no right to really demand. One thing is for certain: if you want to get from point A to point B, a good idea would be to exercise, lose weight, and stop being lazy. See a doctor, maybe. It might be healthier for you. You may not actually end up in an earlier grave. Who knows? But anyway, have a watch of this fat TikToker demand airlines give obese people an extra seat for free, because apparently Canada does it, but not the US.
What's actually outrageous here is that we're forced to pay twice for the same accommodation anyone else gets with just one ticket. This isn't about giving fat people more, it's about accommodating basic needs. In Canada, they have a one-person, one-fare policy because they get it. In Canada, people who need more space aren't paying extra. They're paying for the space their body needs, no extra charge for something that should be basic. Meanwhile, in the US, fat people are still being forced to pay double for what should be a standard accommodation. And let's not forget, airline seats keep shrinking every year, making it even harder for people who already need extra space. Why is it that other countries, like Canada, recognize this as a basic need, but here in the US, airlines are still making money off our discomfort? It's time they stop profiting from our bodies and start treating everyone fairly. Check out change.org/plus-size travel to learn more. Comment below.
Now, this is probably the only time I will say this, but I'm actually in favor of the airlines making profit over fat people's bodies because, well, they have to carry more weight, which means that everyone else suffers as a result, mind you. But these people, they should be made to pay extra because they're carrying a lot more weight, a lot more luggage, a lot more everything like that, which ends up jacking up the prices. Now, she mentioned Canada and how Canada has got a very different stance on this. And that's Canada. It's Canada's policies because Canada is woke as all heck at the moment. And they've got these DEI practices. So you can't discriminate on the basis of somebody's weight, even though it is unhealthy, even though it's probably not a smart thing or a good thing for a person to be of that particular size, especially on an airplane. But hey, I'm not trying to be mean once again, but this person loves, and I mean loves, to complain far too often and put up these videos on TikTok. And the people are just going, maybe it's a good idea. Maybe this is a time for you to actually lose some weight. Maybe that should shock people into realizing that you shouldn't be that size. And then you may not have to pay extra. Just think about it. All the money that you're spending extra to fly around the world, you could be using to actually benefit your own health and your own health needs by joining a gym, exercising, and eating healthy. You could spend that money wisely, but instead you choose to pay extra and complain about it because you won't do anything about your own weight. And I think it's a good thing that the US hasn't changed it. It makes a lot of sense to me. It's like, if you want to force people to get healthy, that's one way to do it. Hit their pocket big time. And this person just needs to realize that take some personal responsibility. Maybe it would be a wise thing or a beneficial thing for you to not eat as much. Go for a run, go for a walk, start doing some positive things for yourself. May end up working out in your favor and you may end up saving money later on down the track. Who knows? That's just a suggestion from me. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.